Today we're going to talk about how you tell time. And we did talk about this just once or twice during calendar, boys and girls. And so now we're just going to review, and I will remind you how to tell time. You'll probably be learning more about this in first grade, but here we go. So the smaller hand, or the red hand, is called the hour hand, and the longer hand, this blue hand, is called the minute hand. And there are 60 minutes in every hour. So this has to go around 60 minutes, and all of those dots are 1 minute. And once it goes around all 60 minutes, then it will change to the next hour. And remember that when you see the minute hand that you're counting by 5. So let's practice. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So after you've gone around 60 minutes, then the red hand will change to the next hour. Watch. So I'm going to start here at 1 o'clock. And I'm saying 1 o'clock because the hour hand is on the 1 and the minute hand is on the 12. And when it's there, we say o'clock. So it's 1 o'clock. But if the minute hand goes around 60 minutes, it takes an hour or 60 minutes to go all the way around to the next o'clock, then the hour is now 2 o'clock. And I'm going to go around another 60 minutes. And once it gets to the next o'clock, or the 12, it'll be 3 o'clock. So now what happens if it gets down to the 6? Let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So when it's on the 6, we say 30. So it would be 3:30. And you might say, well, Mrs. Stevens, it looks like it might be 4:30. Well, it's not 4 yet. It hasn't got to the 4 yet, so it's still 3. Watch, so I'm going to start at 3 o'clock, and I want you to watch the 3 as it comes around. So it's 3:05, 3:10, 3:15, 3:20, 3:25, 3:30. Now we're going to keep going. 3:35, 3:40, 3:45, 3:50, 3:55, and we're not going to say 60, we say o'clock, 4 o'clock. All right, let's try it again. So now it's 4 o'clock. Now let's count. Ready? 4:05, 4:10, 4:15, 4:20, 4:25. Remember, I'm counting by 5s. 4:30, 4:35, 4:40, 4:45. It's not to the 5 yet. 4:50, 4:55. And then what do we say? O'clock. Now it's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock looks like this. I'm going to write it for you. So it's 5, and that's the hour, and we write that first. And then we have a colon. And if it's o'clock, then we're going to put 2 zeros. So that's 5 o'clock. Okay, that's what time it is right now. So maybe I want to go to the next hour, and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait, and now it is 6, because we always say the hour first. So now it's 6 o'clock. So I'm going to change my hour right here, and I'm going to put 6 o'clock. Okay, so now I'm going to see if you understand. Oh wait, let's try this. Let's do 6. What time do you think it is right there? It's still 6. 6 is the hour, but now it's not o'clock anymore. How do we figure out the minutes? Well, let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. So now it is 6:15, right? Okay, now let's try a new time. So I'm going to erase my time and I'm going to put another time and I want you to tell me what time it is. How about now? We're going to say the hour first. Let's look at that red hand. What is it pointing to? It's pointing to the 8. So I'm going to write 8. And I'm going to make my 2 dots. We call that a colon. And now we're going to put our minutes over here. All right, well, how many minutes is that? Let's count by 5, starting with the 12. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20. So I'm going to put 20 minutes, and I'm going to ask you to read the time for me, boys and girls. What does that say? 8:20. It's 8:20. All right, let's do some times for school. Let's see. First of all, when you come to school in the morning and it's not quite time to go to the playground, but you might be getting there a little bit early and you go to the NPR and wait. What time is it? Here's the time. So we're going to look at the hour first, 7. How many minutes? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's 7:30. Now, some of you don't get to school at 7:30. Some of you wait until the playground opens up. And that's this time. So we're still going to leave the 7. But now let's count our 5s and see what time it is. Starting with the 12. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It's 7:45 and it's time to go to the playground. Well, let's say that some of you don't really like to get there too early to play. You're going to wait till it's time for breakfast. Now, what time do we go to breakfast? That's the same time that school starts. Can you tell me what time that is? Let's look at the hour hand first. Remember, that's the shortest one. What is it pointing to? It's pointing to the 8. So we're going to say 8. Now let's count well, I don't have to count the minutes. I know that's o'clock. And I don't write o'clock, the words. I just put 0 and 0. That means no minutes have passed yet. It's still there. 8 o'clock. That's what time we get to school. Hopefully you're getting there a little earlier, and that's what time we eat breakfast. Now, we're eating, and we're cleaning up our trays, and we're stacking our trays, and we're lining up at the door. Now, what time is it? Okay, let's count the minutes. Ready? 5, 10, 15. It's 8:15. Now at 8:15 we line up. I say, who are my line leaders? And we go to the classroom and we start our day. By the time we get to our classroom, it is time for calendar. And we do calendar. And sometimes Mr. Williams gets there if it's Monday. But let's say we're doing our math. We're doing our reading. And now what time is it? Well, it's not quite 10 yet, so we better say 9. So it's 9. How many minutes? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And do you know where we go at 9:45? We go to recess. Recess is at 9:45. And it ends at 10 o'clock. Okay, let's do a few more. Now, let's see. We're going to be doing our reading workshop, writing workshop, and now it's time to get ready for lunch. So it's not quite 11, so we're going to say 10, 10, and I'm going to put those 2 dots again. Let's count by 5s. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. at 10:45, it is time for lunch. And you're eating your lunch. And you go out to the playground with the supervisors. And then it's time to come back in the room. What time is it? It's not quite 12, so we're going to go back to 11. And we're going to count our minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 11:25, the bell rings. Freeze. Okay, you can hop or skip or walk back to your lines, boys and girls. Mrs. Stevens comes out, and Mrs. Cortez and Mrs. Herman, and we pick you guys up. And you're walking to the room, and it's time for ELD. And we have ELD and centers. And guess what time it is? 12, 5, 10, 15, 20. 12:20. And where do we go at 12:20? It's time to line up. Get your backpacks. Put away your things, boys and girls. It's time to go home. All right. I'll see you soon, boys and girls.